guys, welcome back. We've got a new week of astrology to get into, and this is another one of those weeks that is just not like other weeks. There could be some big changes that are underway this week, powerful conversations that are having some type of transformative impact on our lives. This is like life-changing stuff that we've got going on here, playing out throughout the course of this week. Major influence and emphasis by Uranus, the planet Uranus. Also, the Aquarian energy is very, very strong. We are entering Aquarius season on the 29th this week. On the 30th, Uranus will station direct, and this is going to amplify all that Aquarius Uranus energy that we've got going on. Of course, the moon is doing the most to make sure that we have the greatest level of Aquarian experience as possible. Also, and to get our week started, Mercury, the messenger planet, which is associated with like the mental focus, is also entering the sign of Aquarius and will be doing so holding hands with the moon, and they will both come into a conjunction with Pluto. So there is an extra weight and an extra power on what it is that we're saying and what it is that we are thinking, especially as we enter the energy of this week. Tuesday is like the epicenter of that. We're also going to be having Mercury and Pluto in an exact conjunction for our new moon in Aquarius. So let me tell you guys, we are in a time that is likely to be very significant in changing the way that we are both thinking and feeling about things moving forward. So let's get into it. Let's talk about all of this, piece it all together, see if we can wrap our head around what we've got going on out there and what it might mean for us as we move through the week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, January 27th, 2025. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me until the end of this report, I have done a collective tarot reading for us today as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality whenever I'm doing these energy overviews, just to get an alternative energetic perspective on what's going on out there. So there could be some messages in there for you. We're going to do that at the end. We're going to start at the beginning. With the astrology, we are formally entering Aquarius season this week, you guys. The new moon in Aquarius will take place on January 29th this year. And I feel like this Aquarius season, and actually the next consecutive 20 Aquarius seasons, are going to be powerfully transitional in terms of our public sort of awareness of our collective entrance into the age of Aquarius. This is a paradigm shift, obviously, that has been making its way into our reality over the course of this past couple of hundred years. It's probably going to take another couple hundred years to come to a point where we find ourselves fully immersed in this new energy and in this new paradigm. However, Pluto's transit through the sign of Aquarius right now is going to be powerful and fundamental in that process of sort of this like collective awakening to this new version of reality that the age of Aquarius is going to bring to us over the course of the next 2,000 years. So we are really getting strongly acquainted with the energy and the frequencies and the archetypes and the characteristics and the manifestations associated with the Aquarius energy and the Uranian energy as we move through the week this week. This is probably going to be an Aquarius season like no other. This is really the first Aquarius season since January of 1779 that we have had Pluto fully immersed in the sign of Aquarius and ready to embark on this 20-year transit through the sign. Last year, we also had Pluto in the sign of Aquarius for Aquarius season. However, Pluto was at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and Pluto backed out of Aquarius, retrograde out of Aquarius, back into Capricorn. This year, as I said, I feel like we are really kind of crossing that energetic threshold that is going to gain momentum over this next 20 years again. And when I say like gain momentum, gain traction, it's in the context of this newly emerging paradigm, this new way of looking at reality, the new like forms of technology and science and the ways that we are dealing with like information and money. Like this next 2,000 years is going to differentiate itself dramatically from the 2,000-year period that we are coming out of right now. And I just think that this is when we start to kind of reorient ourselves in alignment with the emerging themes that are being birthed now and will continue to unfold over the course of this next greater 2,000 years. So we're at the entrance point really of a very expansive period of time, right? Like a literal new age. And with all this Aquarian energy coming in right now, we really are laying the foundation energetically for how that will kind of like blossom and grow over the course of the next upcoming centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years that then become thousands of years. So all of that being said, you guys, I feel that there's a special significance to this time. I also feel that there is a very, very, very like powerful spiritual divine influence that is very heavy-handedly orchestrating a lot that we see going on right now. I also think, aside from the uncertainty of the times, like lack of stability, uncertainty, unpredictability, all of those type of things are very much key features of what this Uranian energy, Aquarian energy might bring. However, it also really does feel like there's sort of like magic stardust being sprinkled over everything right now. Uranus, like, for as uncomfortable and as straight up scary as a lot of times the Uranian roller coaster rides can be, you know, that lightning striking the tower and that free fall that this energy can bring into our lives, there, in my experience, is just always a silver lining associated with it. Like, there's always a blessing in disguise. That's why Uranus is called like the galactic fixer. Like, Uranus puts things right. This energy makes the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. Like, while a lot of times it brings experiences that equate to sort of, you know, the rug just being like pulled out from under us, or us just being pushed to a point where we have no other option but to just like jump and hope that we can fly, generally something good comes of it, or it ends up in retrospect have been exactly what needed to happen in order so that, you know, this trajectory of events could unfold, or you could meet this person, or this specific thing at exactly this time could, you know, come into your purview experience so that you could make this choice or decision. Like, it always ends up for some reason putting us through a process or a set of experiences that have some type of ripple effect in making things better somehow. And it's generally the type of energy that it's like, I wouldn't have chosen to do that, nor would I choose to do that again. However, I also wouldn't change it, because now with the wisdom of hindsight, you know what I mean? Like the future proving the past, now I know that like it actually was the best thing that could have happened, because ABC XYZ then happened, and now this, and as a result that, and I like am actually very grateful for that experience. Like, that just generally happens to be the way that things end up playing out when we're dealing with the strong Uranian Aquarian element. And so as a result of that, you know, that may be kind of a feature of the experiences that are going on right now. So even if things seem just totally crazy, totally out of control, again, like we're just in this free fall, the element of faith and like the way that this energy can strengthen our faith as well, and like make us believe in miracles, or show us that anything is possible, or show us that we really never had anything to fear in the first place. Like, the spiritual lessons inherent in like a lot of these experiences as well are of tremendous value, and prove to us actually that there like is more to this reality than meets the eye. You know what I mean? That there is truly a higher power, that the invisible world around us is just as tangible as the material world, even if we can't physically see or feel or perceive it. So I don't know. I just feel like, and again, like, I always feel like Aquarius and Uranus has this thing about it, you know, the galactic fixer, making the changes for us we haven't been able to make for ourselves. It's about facilitating a process of destiny. It's about putting us on a path that enables us to align with a higher version or vision or potential or purpose of ourselves, more in greater alignment with like the true fulfillment of our soul's potential evolution in this lifetime. Like, it really is a force that is trying to help us get back on track to do what we came here to do. And it has to do with the future. It can also have to do with prophecy. A lot of times when we have a strong Uranian energy going on, we can almost like taste what's to come, or like feel what's coming, or just like you can, like this sense of anticipation, like you can almost just, you know, sense the future that hasn't arrived yet, but we just kind of like know. Like that's why it's also, Aquarius and Uranus can also be associated with flashes of insight, sudden downloads, again like this more prophetic energy where we just get this like instantaneous knowing about something, like epiphany hitting us just out of nowhere. This is probably a more commonplace than normal experience that we have going on throughout the course of this week as well. And that is another feature of this week, aside from the highly spiritually attuned nature of this time. And it's not just because all the Uranian Aquarian energy emphasized that can push us over into just these like this very spiritually oriented territory. We also have another aspect playing out simultaneously this week that is also in some extreme ways emphasizing this like desire or yearning to connect to something higher, like to just like fall into or dissolve into our relationship with a higher power, with the divine. Like we have all of this Aquarius, all of this Uranus playing out. On the side of that, this week, we also have Venus coming into a conjunction with Neptune in the sign of Pisces with the North Node. That is like high heart energy on another level, with the North Node there. On one hand, this is fated endings, okay? Like there are like spiritually mandated endings in the context of relationships going on right now, but there is also this very strong pull or compulsion to like unite with something, relate with something on a spiritual level as well. And I do think that this week people are probably just going to be more like organically spiritually inclined. Like even people that don't necessarily have that spiritual bend to them, or that don't even consider the rationality or the potential or the possibility of, you know, a spiritual world, or, you know, the power of the unseen or anything like that, for some reason it's likely to be knocking loudly. Like people are probably just going to be having experiences or mentally oriented in such a way where we're getting a glimpse of the normally unseen or unknown, or just feeling like the spirit stirring within us somehow. So again, like, and that could also be something that makes the week a bit like weird or unusual or bizarre. This is definitely not your average week. Again, you guys, last week we had a weird week. This week with all this Uranian energy, you know, it's probably just not falling in alignment with how it was supposed to go. I would definitely, and we're going to get into the specifics of how we start, you know, Monday and Tuesday, narrow down, focus down onto the energy of those days and how we're starting the week in a minute. But like, you know, again, like I do want to say the power of our thoughts and the power of our words and the power of our feelings this week are of the utmost, okay? Like mind yourself, right? Like with great power comes great responsibility. With the power being so strongly emphasized on feelings, thoughts, and what we're saying, the words that are coming out of our mouth, and especially being conscious of the level of just like kind of excessive power inherent in these features of life right now, we need to use them wisely, okay? Don't just be, this can be a very ruthless energy as well. I will say, like, a lot of people could be issuing maybe some like soul crushing verbal blows, very possible. So and you may not realize the power that your words are having on someone else in this energy. So again, you know, it's not like I'm like, don't say it, but I'm like, if you're gonna say it, make sure that you are being intentional about it, that you are conscious of the impact that it could have, you know, the potential effects, that you're like thinking it through. And that's, you know, this is a very powerful mental energy generally. X-ray vision, you guys, like penetrating insight, seeing to the core or the root of the matter, and again also like slicing to the core of things verbally all of this stuff. Like there is a very penetrating ability to like get in there mentally, get in somebody's head, you know, get into somebody's heart or emotions as well. Have a very profound, powerful, transformative effect. So we want to make sure that we are doing that in the mode of healing and regeneration and not just like, you know, utter destruction, unless of course for whatever situation you got going on, that is what is being prescribed right now. Okay, so that's sort of, I guess, the preface to what we've got going on to my report. All week though, we are getting blasted by Aquarius, by Uranus, starting the week Monday and Tuesday specifically. Mercury leaves, so it'll probably really start like gearing up in terms of this just like electrified kind of perhaps just like dynamic, I don't know, like volatile again energy that we've got going on probably Tuesday moving through the rest of the week. Mercury enters the sign of Aquarius with the moon. You guys know how I feel about the moon's transits, and you know, why would we have a Mercury-Pluto conjunction alone when we could add the moon to it? Why just have, you know, a mentally empowered, deep, penetrating energy when we could add the emotionality to it and like take things up to a whole nother level? So we've got Mercury, the mind, the moon, feelings, emotions, what's going on inside of us, kind of a trigger for energetic activations, both coming together, both aligning with Pluto. So this is another energy that is just really, really intensifying both what's going on in our mind, what's going on inside of us. In combination, it is indicating some radical shifts in the way that we are thinking and feeling about things. So again, don't be surprised if for some reason something happens in the early part of the week that like just radically shifts your perspective somehow, changes your focus, reorients things. Or this could also represent, again, we're talking about that X-ray vision, we're talking about that like penetrating insight, the true ability to get to the core of things, and also this very, very psychic energy. Like, are you kidding me? Mercury, the moon, and Pluto together at 1 degree of the sign of Aquarius. Like, this is very strong aptitude to, in a way that is like either, it's almost like telepathic as well. It's like very psychic, very telepathic. Like the thought field in combination with the feeling vibration energy here is just like off the charts powerful, and like we can just penetrate, get to the core of something. Like this is not a good day. Like things that have been hidden are likely to come to light. This is more of that like secrets revealed, revelation, like crazy awakening, epiphany again, like flash of insight, sudden download, like moments notice, all of a sudden everything coming clear, illusions breaking down perhaps in significant ways as well, but just like really maybe getting to the root of something in a way that also could have a very liberating impact on the mind and the heart, or the mind and the emotions in some type of way. So this is like what we're dealing with now. The Mercury, the like mercurial Mercury component of things, this is also the interactions that we're having, the interpersonal dynamics, the conversations, what we're reading, what we're talking about, the information, you know, that we are privy to, the collective narratives, what's on the news, what's in the media. So with the Pluto conjunction, again, there's likely to be just a very powerful or significant or impactful, I don't know, nature to the way that interpersonal dynamics that are playing themselves out this week. You could just find yourself having a very deep or transformative conversation with somebody. You could find out something that you were unaware of that really changes your opinion or perspective on something, the way that you feel about something. It's very significant that we have both Mercury and the moon together, because this is telling us that like whatever transformation or even like just innovation or change that is taking place this week. Like, it's not just impacting the way that we're seeing things. It's not just impacting the way that we're thinking about things. It is impacting the way that we are like feeling about things, like literally to our core, with that plutonic, mercurial, lunar conjunction going on the day right before we have our new moon in Aquarius cycle. So honestly, it's like, and then for the new moon in Aquarius, which we'll talk about for the next video that comes out for Wednesday, the 29th is the day of the new moon. So we'll talk more in detail about that then, but we are going to have Mercury and Pluto in an exact conjunction in Aquarius for our new moon in Aquarius. All Aquarius season, you guys, is going to be about uncovering things, seeing the truth, getting to like the root issue, figuring out how to solve problems that may have been going on for a very long period of time, but it's going to change the way that we're thinking about things for sure. And it's also because this is, you know, associated with this new moon energy, this is indicating that like something is about to change. Like, this is something new that is going to happen. This is a change that is being initiated and that's going to unfold over the next several weeks as a result perhaps of the mental shifts that are ongoing and taking place right now as well, or the way that we are shifting how we're feeling, or, you know, the way that our emotions are oriented regarding something because of the Pluto moon Mercury alignment the day before the new moon takes place. So I don't know, you guys, major awakenings that make us think or feel totally differently about something, very powerful or moving conversations, information, displays of emotions, significant announcements or news or changes that could be underway, demolition, renovation could come through with this as well, but things are fundamentally being reformed. And listen to the Sabian symbol, you guys, where the sun is on Monday, or is it Monday? On Tuesday, as Mercury is entering the sign of Aquarius with the moon and preparing to make that conjunction, setting forth this cascade of energy that is highlighting Uranus and Aquarius all week. The sun on Tuesday will be at 10 degrees of the sign of Aquarius. That Sabian symbol is a man who had for a time become the embodiment of an ideal, is made to realize as a person he is not that ideal. And I feel like this particular Sabian symbol coming in with the Mercury moon Pluto conjunction is talking about perhaps gaining some type of internal insight or shifting our preferences in a way that kind of like alters the direction that we are pursuing. Whereas in the past, maybe we had idealized and sought to embody one thing or one set of characteristics or one set of values or morals or traits or, you know, whatever. Maybe whatever's taking place in our life right now, we're realizing, oh, wait, you know, maybe that's not what I thought it was, or, you know, maybe now I am preferring this, or I'm finding myself attracted to this thing, or I feel like there is more value in this, or this is more aligned with what I'm coming to like see or discover or find to be valuable right now. Okay, so I don't know. I think that there's probably some very deep internalized shifts and changes that are going on right now. We also, another reason that I'm saying that, the Venus North Node Neptune conjunction that we also have playing out is another element that is indicating perhaps shifts in value systems, like what we once loved or what we once idealized or what we once strove to becoming now something that we no longer attribute that same level of value to. And as a result of that, maybe coming to a point of letting go of some pursuit of greatness or some ideal in preference of some alternative value or desire, or just like, I don't know, like us fundamentally being altered in terms of like the nature of our heart and what we're attracted to right now as well. So I don't know, like I think that this is indicating some personal changes. I think that we are all sort of collectively going to be reinventing ourselves now moving through Aquarius season, but also through this 2025 year. And, you know, as a result, not only of the Aquarian energy that we're moving into right now, which is, let me tell you, and this will become more evident as we move into this energy and we are dealing with the Uranus stationing in Taurus energy, but that's all about awakening us like to the truth of our potential. okay, of our purpose, of our potential. There is some higher calling, some latent destiny, I think, that we are all going to begin to, in some way, on some level, awaken to, moving through this week, moving through the rest of Aquarius season into 2025, and the nodal transit, another thing that I've been talking about. We recently began a new 18-year cycle of the nodes transiting through all of the signs of the zodiac, and it begins with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. This is also a time over the next 18 months now. So in correspondence to these awakenings and these transformations that this energy is indicating, we are also going through a phase of fated spiritual growth that is going to alter our lifestyles, our behaviors, our habits, our routines, and our relationship to our own health and physical body as well. And with all of these factors playing into things right now, again, the concept and theme of reinventing the self in alignment with the recognition of some authentic potential or value or purpose that we are gaining a greater awareness of within us, going to be motivating a lot of this change that's going on as well. And a lot of the change is for the purpose, you guys, of pushing us to a point to make those realizations. That's another element of this. Like, a lot of these changes that are going on are, and a lot of the shakeups and a lot of the intensity, it actually is like the higher purpose behind a lot of it, I think, has to do with pushing us to a point where, you know, we kind of have no choice but to gain that greater awareness. Because when we're just coasting through things, you guys, when everything is nice and comfortable and we've got all of our needs met and we are not like really being forced to figure anything out for ourselves, a lot of times we have a tendency of not figuring things out for ourselves. And as we move into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of information, age of self-awareness, age of self-actualization, that's no longer an option, okay? Not figuring things out for ourselves is not an option. So we're going to be systematically, I think, put in situations by universe where we've got to figure a lot of things out in a lot of different ways. And the more that we are willing to do that, the more that we will grow, and the less resistance, I think, that we will experience as we move through this phase of life and creation that is unfolding before us right now. So, yeah. These are very strange times, you guys. These are very, very highly spiritual times. Again, there is, like, I do feel like there is this like magic stardust kind of being sprinkled all over everything. Very strong aptitude to gain spiritual awareness that can really, really assist us in, you know, whatever we're interfacing with as we move through this period of time. Surrender and allowing, you know, like not trying to control things, you know, not trying to resist, not trying to control, and doing our best to maintain faith in the face of uncertainty, I do think is also, you know, probably our best perspective. I've been sort of describing it as walking on a tightrope, you know what I mean? And we have the option of just like keeping our eyes on the platform that we're moving towards, you know, one foot in front of the other. We're gonna get there, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna step on that platform, success, we made it. Or, you know, you can look down and whatever goes on after that, you know, panic, anxiety, fear, making a misstep, you know, as a result of the uncertainty and not knowing what to do. I do find also that a lot of times, or at least in my personal experience, this is something that I've found dealing with a lot of this kind of energy. If you don't have to react in the moment, sometimes it's better honestly not to. You again, like, you might be really surprised by what happens next that you weren't anticipating. I'm telling you guys also, like, people are probably not going to be reacting and responding to things in the way that you normally would expect them to. It's just going to be nothing probably as we move throughout the course of this next couple weeks is going to play out in accordance with maybe past patterning or just like what we've come to expect from situations and scenarios. There's also a massive decentralization of power that is underway right now as well, you guys. So something to keep in mind as well. And as we move forward into this Aquarius Uranus energy this week, again, like I would not be surprised if there are things being systematically like dissembled somehow or deregulated or just like decentralized or taken apart. And again, like things being figured out or found out or uncovered or discovered in a way that we can create some like true solutions. This is all about getting to the core of things, like exposing it and transforming it, figuring it out, what to do next. And then of course, you know, very revolutionary energy that we've got going on right now, very rebellious energy that we've got going on, very like non-compliant energy. If it's out of alignment with integrity, if it's out of alignment with authenticity, if it's like very like self-serving and does not have the interest of kind of like the greater whole in mind, it's just probably not going to be energetically supported for one reason or another as we move through this energy. Things are definitely both falling apart and coming together this week as we move through this and Aquarius season in ways that we probably were not anticipating, and they're being reshuffled. Ultimately, I do believe being put back right somehow. Spiritual revival, as I said, you guys, underway as well. And there's probably going to be some immensely shifting belief systems that are associated with this period of time also. It's so funny because, you know, I've been talking about how this energy, it really has a lot to do with spiritual growth, spiritual awakening, and the impact that that has on like the way that we're doing our lives, what we value, what we're attracted to, what we want to connect and relate with, right? Like those changes are hitting on those specific type of levels as well. And we've got Saturn right now at 18 degrees of Pisces on Tuesday in a huge tent. A famous revivalist conducts his meeting with a spectacular performance. So we've got a revival in some capacity being spoken about in that regard. We also have the North Node right now at 29 Pisces, light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism. I feel like this is also helping us to like see things from different perspectives, see the multiple but perhaps hidden different layers and dimensions of reality through the change in perspective, through how we're seeing things, you know, being able to see perhaps the layers and the depths in a different way than we normally generally do. Position of the North Node, that's like the destiny point right now. And also the position of the South Node at 29 degrees of Virgo. That Sabian symbol is a man gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll that he is reading. Uncovering things that have been hidden, possibly from the past, possibly for a long period of time, and the impact that they're having on us. Remember the position of the sun as well. A man who had for a time become the embodiment of an ideal is made to realize that as a person, he is not that ideal. So I don't know, you guys, but just seems like some very powerful epiphanies, revelations, something just like hitting us like a Mack truck out of nowhere, and then a instantaneous like realization like, oh my God, I understand now, you know, awakening, transformation, and perhaps this energy that is pushing us towards some type of spiritual revival coming in. Okay, so that's what I have to say today, you guys, about the astrology strange times that we are moving through, but fundamentally transformative, paradigm shifting. And I'm telling you guys, from this point forward, things are going to start looking different. When they write the history books and they're looking back, they're going to say, you know what? I think that, you know, all of that really started to change right around January of the year 2025. So mark it, put it on your calendar, come back 10 years and look, and we will see, we will figure it out. So let's talk, you guys, now. Let's move on and talk about the tarot for a minute. Very interesting tarot message that we had come out today. A very brief tarot message. Look at this. We had one card come out, And then we have one card on the back of the deck that we're going to talk about. This is the Four of Pentacles, and on the back of the deck, we have the Magician. You know what this is saying to me, you guys? And then actually underneath that, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It doesn't matter what the state of things appears to be. It doesn't matter whether we feel like the world is kind of like falling apart, things are not going how we expected, things are, again, like maybe the rug's getting pulled out from our feet, maybe just a sudden like twist or turn or something happening that we weren't prepared for. This is saying, you guys, to me, that we need to remember who we really are. You know what I mean? Like, remember who you are. Okay, remember what you're truly capable of. Remember, you know, how powerful you actually are. And that's what we need to hold on to this week. When I saw the Four of Pentacles come out first, and it was the only card that came out, I was like, that's, you know, weird, because this is a time actually all about like release and surrender and transformation and change, metamorphosis, alchemy, one thing becoming something else. So honestly, this is about like ushering us towards a phase of soul evolution. Okay, like that's actually what this is. And so I'm like, so like, why would we have the Four of Pentacles come out, which is all about like holding on to something, like not letting something go, you know, like holding something close to you. And then flip the deck over, and what do we have on the back of the deck? We've got the Magician, okay, which is all about personal power. So this is telling me, you guys, like, and also with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse under there, like the Wheel of Fortune is about fate and destiny and divine timing and like things playing out in accordance to a higher power or a destined path, destiny and karma. With it in reverse, we could be questioning if this is like meant to happen. If, you know, we could have had, this is sort of like giving me the feeling of like we had one plan, you know what I mean? But universe had another plan. So it kind of feels like, what is going on? Because like, you know, maybe universe or God or Great Spirit did not call us up and let us know exactly what the game plan was about how to get from A to B and where we're going. So, you know, we could feel like we're just on this whole opposite course from where we're trying to get to, Wheel of Fortune in reverse. But no, actually, this is letting us know that we need to hold on tight to our personal power, to, you know, our will, to our capability, to our skill, to our knowledge, to like the power of our feeling. Again, like I was saying, Mercury and the moon and Pluto in Aquarius as we're starting this Aquarius season. This is the power of our mind. This is the power of our feelings. This is the power of our ability to literally like manifest and guide consciously the trajectory of our lives based on the proper alignment of the mind and of the emotions and the feelings and the power that that represents to create, to manifest, and to propel us forward, to transform reality. This is a super, super powerful personal like energy that we've got going on here, and we can hold on to that, and we need to remember that. And again, like holding on to the magic, okay? And it's also making me think of the just, you know, like I said, it feels like stardust out there. Like it feels like lightning striking the tower and a tornado also. Don't get me wrong. Like, oh yeah, okay, we're in the vortex, okay? Things are electrified out there. That's another thing. Like it may be very, very difficult to sleep, you know, anxiety, nervous tension. I should have said this in the beginning of the report, but anxiety, nervous tension, a feeling of just being like very ungrounded may accompany this Mercury, moon, Pluto, Aquarius energy. Might not be able to sleep. It could feel just like very wired. People could be spiraling also. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier the potential for just some very harsh or gruesome things to be going on. Language, people could really, really be doing some damage with the power of what is coming out of their mouths and this energy as well. That's why, like I was saying earlier, be mindful of the impact you could be having, because you may not be aware of how powerful your words really are. And also that same thing goes for our thoughts. Mind your thoughts, you guys. Mind your thoughts, mind your feelings. Make sure that you are gearing and orienting them in the direction of what you want to create, because look at this. Our mind and how we're feeling about things, what we're thinking about things, and what we're saying. Very powerful and influential forces in the creation of our reality as we move into the energy of this week and beyond. So there's the tarot, you guys. Do not underestimate your personal power. Use that as, you know, your fuel right now, or your motivation, or your grounding, or, you know, what is making you and helping you feel safe and stable with that Four of Pentacles energy. Like, it needs to be your faith and belief in your own ability to be your own propeller, your own engine, your own machine, your own magician. Okay, and you are that as we move into this energy. And we also do have help from the divine, so we're all good. I'm gonna grab a synchronicity card now, you guys, see if there's one more message or piece of guidance or advice that we can get from God, universe, great spirit, as we head into this week of who knows what. So let's see what card we need. What do we need to know? It already came out. It's your attitude, you guys. That's exactly right. As it always is, isn't it? Okay. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Matthew 7:14. The only way you can alter outer conditions is to change your mental attitude. And literally, like, that is what is going on. What did I say? Mental shifts, mental transformation. We're not going to be thinking and feeling about things the same way when we end the week as we did when we begin the week with all of this going on. The only way you can alter outer conditions is to change your mental attitude. For harmony, peace, prosperity, and health to enter your life, you must fill your subconscious, Mercury and Pluto, with the understanding that all harmony, peace, abundance, and security is yours right now. So spiritual growth on one side, you guys, and on the other side, some type of an awakening or mental and emotional shift that releases us perhaps from maybe some mental conditioning from the past that had been keeping us attached to that which just isn't meant for us right now at this period of time anymore. And remember, as I've been saying for years now on this channel, anything that is not authentically aligned to us is not going to make it through this period of time. This energy is all about removing blockages to growth in alignment with that fated phase of growth that universe needs us to be at right now as we are transitioning into the age of Aquarius, as we are anchoring this new paradigm into this reality. None of us are exempt from the role, from the service that universe has set forth for us in this life to, you know, do our part to create this shift of ages. And we are creating it one by one as we integrate and alchemize with the energies that represent this new era that's coming in right now. We ground them and we root them to the planet, and again, lay the foundation for what is to unfold over the course of the next 2,000 years. So it's significant, you guys, right now. Do not think that your life and your role here is not very powerful. All of us are some piece of the puzzle, and we're all different. You know, everybody has some unique contribution that universe wants us to rise into and have the experience to live out and contribute to that overall story as we are moving into the age of Aquarius. So if things are crazy in your life right now, it's because like that, whatever that is like knocking on your door, and you're getting put in the situation that you need to be in order to either, like, if you already know what that is, in order to be able to like flush that out and truly step into it, or to gain an awareness of what you need to know in order to get on the path to come into alignment with that somewhere down the line. So that's what we got, you guys. It's your attitude, and we do have attitude adjustments going on this week. It's probably again going to be a crazy week, but for the best, I think. So we'll see how it plays out, but like, you know, just keep that in mind. Like, there could just be like a shock factor that's going on this week, and kind of across the board in all areas. So, you know, proceed with a bit of caution, be mindful, stay grounded. Again, like with all this Aquarian energy, it is just being like, like super wired and like spun up, you know what I mean? It can be kind of like a more almost like reckless and also accident prone energy if we are not being mindful, if we're not being careful, because you can it's like, it's just, you can be so distracted or so caught off guard, or like just caught in such a vibe to an extent that you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, and you stop and step into a pothole or something like that. And that also brings like the shock factor or the surprise, you know? So we're staying grounded this week, you guys. We're taking deep breaths. We are consciously being aware and paying attention, and having faith in the universe and opening up to whatever it is that God wants to deliver us into as we move through this period of time. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would also be interested in this type of astrology content. Leave me comments. I am so grateful for your presence here, you guys. I also wanted to thank you for all of your, you know, heartfelt comments and kind words to and about and for Jana and her impact on my channel, and in regards to the synchronicity cards as well. Like, that was so meaningful to me. I literally can't even begin to express to you guys just how much you mean to me and how grateful I am to have connected with all of you guys, even just, you know, by way of the frequency that aligns us, in that, you know, I'm seeing your feedback and you're like getting whatever it is from me that perhaps universe wants you to have. Yeah, so thank you guys so much. Like, I don't really know how to explain and express in words exactly how much it means to me, but I'm super grateful. And I guess just thank you guys so much, and come back with me on Wednesday. That will be the new moon in Aquarius. Of course, that will be another big like energetic moment this month that we need to talk about, so you don't want to miss it, and I will be back to do just that. So I will see you then, guys. Have a beautiful introduction to your week, and until next time, bye.